That's a good fish. Look at that pretty fish right there, nice. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Bass Fishing Declassified. Today, we're gonna go for a Catch 15 challenge, but it's gonna be a little bit different of a Catch 15 type of challenge. I'm about to try to go 4 hours, catch 15 pounds without the Livescope. For this challenge, it falls in line with a typical Catch 15 style type of challenge. I have not practiced on this lake. I've not been on this lake since January, actually. I don't have a lot of time. It's the afternoon right now. I think I might have 4 or 5 hours left of daylight. I know it's springtime. Fish are in all phases of the spawn, but just knowing me and how I like to fish, I have become addicted to it, and I thought, why not try to go back to fishing like I used to growing up without it? Just to make it even more interesting, hey, I want to throw that thing in the trash if I catch 15 pounds without it. Really, if I go out there and catch 15 right now, throwing it in the trash. So this challenge got interesting right off the bat. Right when I got to my first spot, I realized not only did I not have the Livescope, I didn't have any graphs on the front of my boat at all. 2D sonar, so I didn't even know my depth range that I was in fishing for this day. Let me see what depth it is now. So I started off in a major creek down on the lower end of the lake, and I decided to start off in the back half. I went to graph, and I graphed for 20 minutes, and I was relating to the creek channel, and up there on the side of this creek channel that was on the north side, there was a flat. There was a good drop off to the creek channel from the flat, and there was a little bit of rock up there, but the biggest part was there was stumps. I didn't really see any fish relating to the stumps, so they could have been close to it, but I did see bait fish in the creek channel, and with that I did see some fish that I thought might have been bass. So I was here thinking I'm about to go out and knock this 15 pounds out really fast. Then as I dropped my trolling motor in the water, I realized I don't have any depth range at all. I do not know where I'm at, how this is going to go. So then I picked up my crankbait, I still gave it a go, I threw it up there on the flat, dropped it off there on the little ledge to the creek channel, and after about 5 casts with that, I picked up the Carolina rig, dragged it around for a couple casts, but I was fighting the wind, and I just knew I was not being efficient with my time for you guys in this challenge. So then I abandoned that, decided to go up there on the flat. I dragged the Carolina rig around the stumps, I threw a couple other baits. I don't believe I didn't get bit right there. Wow, all right, go over here. And then I realized when I got past the stumps further back in the creek where the water was more clear, I saw beds. And I'm talking beds, beds, and beds, but I did not see any fish. So that was my sign that, hey, these fish are done here, or they're out there in that deeper water where I potentially could have saw them. And then so I decided to go up, work my way up a little bit out of the creek. And then an hour has passed and I've not had a bite. So then I decided, hey, we need to make a move, we need to make a change, and we did that. We went up to the river section of this lake, and that was a good change for this day. Good fish. Good one. Good one. He came right off that. Get in the boat. There we go. That's a pre-spawn fish there, guys. Look at that pretty fish right there. Nice fish on the 6 cents well. He came off that piece of wood right there, that standing timber. 304. We got one. Hey, 304. We're fifth of the way there. Fish go right back. Good one. That's a good fish. Stay on. Stay on. All of you, stay on. We're gonna have to go get you. Sweet. That one spawned already. There we go, fish number 2, guys. That happened real fast. They're just out here staged up on this point, guys, and this one might have spawned already. Another whale fish. 6 cents whale type of day. 273. 273, guys. Now, hey, that's 2 fish real fast. And like I just told you, I don't even know what depth I'm in. After those 2 fish catches right there, I right away knew I was about to keep that swim bait in my hand. This is the 6 cents whale take, 4.5-inch swim bait. I stuck with the white color throughout this trip, and the hook I was using is just a 6 cents weighted hook with a little blade here attached, a little tail spinner, and it's a 5/16 ounce size. Has a little screw lock right there as well. What the swim bait does during this time of year is it doesn't always just target them post-spawn fish that are trying to feed back up. But if you do have fish on beds, man, sometimes there's something about a swim bait pulling fish off beds, and they will get and just want to eat these dudes, okay? My rod I was using, which I love these rods, I've talked about them, is just the Nolly Attacks, okay? This day I was using my 7.2 medium heavy, but I also have a swim bait rod, swim bait frog rod, that's one of the Tennessee River editions, I believe. It's a 7.4. I had my frog on it for that day. So with the move, I decided to go up the river, mainly because I had 3 hours left, and I was like, hey, if I can find some fish in a short amount of time, that river section is my best bet. You, one, have a easier chance of knowing where the main channel is, as you have with your river, and then you have these cuts, coves off the river. And so that was my thought, is hey, if I can pull up in the right one, find a group of fish, that's going to give me just the with my short amount of time a chance to catch this 15 pounds. So my first area up this river, which was just right off the main river, you had your point right there on both sides, and then up in this cove was just a flat. Okay, there was a flat with a bunch of standing timber. You had standing timber, you had your cedar trees. So in my mind, I was like, hey, you have a place for fish to stage up on, as they were at that point, as I just caught a pre and a post-spawn fish. And then up on that flat, you had places for them to spawn. You had the roots off the standing timber, or the cedar trees is a great place for them to spawn. And also you had other pieces of cover you couldn't see with your eyes, okay? As I was fishing, you would see other pieces of standing timber, the stumps, bushes, or just bushes pulled out there, brush, that were places for these fish to be. And as I moved up in there, and that wind was howling, guys, it was howling. It was really tough for me just to be efficient and fish everything real slow. So I kept the swim bait in my hand, and right away, right under one of those cedar trees, I lost a good one. Dude, you tell me there ain't one there. Oh no, man, dear gosh, darn it. And as I was fishing in there, I did try wacky rig worms for just your fish that were in that spawning phase. Why am I throwing this? When I had all those bites on that thing. I did flip a little bit with the Texas rig. I didn't flip as enough as I think I should have. One lure looking back I wish I would have pulled out was my bladed jig, but after I got bit on that swim bait, man, there's just something about the swim bait bite that I have confidence in, and I just want to throw during this time of year. With me not having the sonar up front, the 2D sonar, just to even tell me the depth I'm in, I kept having to go back to my Dash Lowrance Electronics to see my depth. What's my depth? And so with that and this wind, I mean, I'd walk back there and all of a sudden the wind would push me up against some of these trees, and it just made the challenge that much more difficult. Guys, I do not have the Power Pose. I do not have an Ultrex, which both would have been very, very nice to have during this fishing day. Got him. Yeah. Got him. Got him. Truck, I was just about to say that. He'll keep. There we go. That's a good fish. I was about to downsize and change my hook. 176. 176. So then after that area, I went up the river some more. I fished 2 other points that I thought some fish could be potentially staging on, and had some wind blown on it, and didn't have any luck. And then I came back down the river to a point that was really, really close to the one I had the fish on, and I ended up getting 2 bites, I think, in 2 consecutive casts. I lost the one, and then I caught the other one, as you just saw there. Then this is where I messed up, okay, guys? And I say messed up. Now, if I caught fish, I would have not said I messed up. I went down the river, I fished 2 other points, and then I went into that little that cove off the river as well that had the cedar trees, had your stumps. I just don't believe it. Come on, Jimmy, let's go. And then I fished it thorough, thinking I can find some fish in there that are staging up to spawn, or just got, just hanging out up there in the shallows. And I didn't have any luck. And next thing you know, I looked at the clock and I had like an hour left. And with that hour, I was like, guys, I've already got 3 fish. I got to get to work. I'll take you. He's acting bad. he'll help it. There we go. Another one of them fish, man. That looked like the same fish I caught earlier. Fish number 4, guys. Hey, we're running out of time. 178. That one's close to the other one. We got 4 for 930. 4 for 930. So then I ran back to the 1 point and I caught a fish right away, and that ended up being my 4th keeper. So now I have about 50 minutes left. And what I decided to do is I went back to that cove where I lost the one good one earlier, and I did fish the point where I had the 2 bites on and I didn't get bit. But I went to that cove and I decided to, hey, we're going to break this area down. I'm going to fish slow, get my Texas rig out, and we're going to go do what I like to do, which is flip Texas rigs, fish slow, and get after it. That's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know what to say about that fish. That one hurt. That would have been my 5th fish. It would not have put me in the 15-pound mark, but it would have put me that much closer to where if I did get one more good fish after that, we would have broke the 15 pounds. I really just think the fishing electronic gods were watching over me. They didn't want me to throw my Livescope away at the moment. Okay, guys, I know there's not really fishing gods. That was just supposed to be a joke, okay? Don't take it personal if you really think I've meant that. But looking back at it, the wind did die down. I can go in there and flip thorough. And one thing I'll talk about this fishing days where like I mentioned earlier, where I kind of messed up. I should have came back to that area sooner and just broke it apart. And guys, that's one thing about this trip I want you to learn is, hey, when you find fish in areas, when you get a couple bites in areas, those are not the only bites you get. There are bigger groups of fish than you realize. Hey, break those areas apart, and that's something that I've always have done and have figured out myself. But today I didn't use it. I didn't even use one of my own lessons that I like is when you find fish in an area, figure them out, break it apart. But I decided to try to run around, find more fish, and in a challenge like this, and in a time where you don't have much time to fish, as a lot of us guys have, you might only get a couple hours. Running around sometimes is not what you need to do. This time of year, slow down, figure the fish out, and that's one thing I wish, looking back on, I would have done for this trip. I didn't get the challenge. The Livescope, luckily, gets to stay on the boat for now. I did enjoy the challenge, though. Like, really fun just to come out here and fish. It was definitely a challenge. Ended up at 4 fish, 989. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave me in the comments. Let me know if you want me to make more videos like this. And hey, we'll see you next time.